Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series. So, this is part two of the previous episode that I did, which is going to encompass the final part of Jeremiah Omoto's official statement concerning the case of Ruth Matthew and baby testimony, best to his knowledge as he declared on the sworn affidavit. So, in the statement that we are going to explore, it's going to give the final words of Jeremiah Omoto that he alluded in this case of baby testimony and this case of this woman called Sister Ruth Matthew. But before we jump into the statement, it was my birthday and it's still my birthday month. So there's a video that I want to play. I received so many videos from people from my family. All of you are my family, wishing me a happy birthday, and they really warmed my heart. They really, most of you said, don't post them, please keep them for your own private and personal use. And some of you said I can post them. I'm free to, I have the copyrights to republish them. Amongst all those videos, there's one particular one that I want to play, which will send a good message, not only to Jeremiah Omoto for fame, but to all the mothers out there and all the children out there, because there's nothing that moves my heart when I see mothers who come around to stand for baby testimony, when I see, little children, young boys, who also know about this case of baby testimony and who also have something to say about this little brother of ours, baby testimony. And what mostly made me feel so happy was the fact that an entire family can dedicate their time to wish Mr. PDT a happy birthday, a message. It's a collective of a family that said, let's wish Mr. PDT. The fact that the children also know about Mr. PDT, it really goes a long way. It really shows how much of an influence, how much of an impact we are causing in the lives of the little ones, not only the little ones, but families out there who are consuming, who are watching. And I think it's very critical for your children also to start getting involved in this fight against injustice, because what we are fighting for might also happen to one child out there. Not that we wish for it to happen, but you never know what the future holds. And if we do not groom these little ones to stand up to this kind of madness, to this kind of injustice, then they are going to also come into a broken society, into a broken world that we are currently living in. So before I say much, let me just play this video and let's talk about it in brief after you watched it. Check it out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
On behalf of all the children in Nigeria, I just want to say happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. PDT, aka Pull the Trigger.
Happy birthday, Prophet. You, Mr. Pull the Trigger, happy birthday on behalf of all the mothers. We want to wish you happy birthday. We love you, Prophet. We love you, and we are solidly behind you. Baby testimony must be found. We must find baby testimony. Jeremiah Omoto cannot stop us. Yes, sir. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Mr. Pull the Trigger, happy birthday.
This really hit home for me, and I really appreciate this family. And they are there in Nigeria, not shaken, not moved, that Jeremiah Omoto will come after us. I think if you also have a child, please, if your child can also put their word on this case of baby testimony, I'll be very delighted. And I'll be glad to reshare all those videos. If you can have your child also do as many videos as possible to also advocate for baby testimony's justice, I think those that have baby testimony might loosen their heart and give us back our boy. Please just think about it. I know most of you are afraid to say, no, we can't be putting our kids on this case. We can't be allowing our faces. But people, there's a child at stake here. There's an entire baby at stake here who has been missing for the past 3 years. If we can't put hands together to fight for one good cause, when you see injustice happening to your neighbor and you can sleep at night, my friend, just wait. Tomorrow it's you who also need the solidarity of masses to come together and stand with you when the same thing or when any misfortunate event happen or occur in your life. So it is a time like this that we have to come together as human beings. We have to come together and fight for humanity, fight against injustice. And especially on a sensitive case like this of a child that was abducted, of a child that has been missing for the past 3 years. I don't think Jeremiah Omoto or the commissioner of police can have enough resources to headhunt each and every child that will do a video, or the parents of each and every child that will do a video advocating for baby testimonies justice. I don't think they can have all the resources to arrest everyone that advocates for baby testimony. And the reason why Ruth Matthew is being arrested and being harassed today is just an effort to instill fear in people. That's why most Nigerians are afraid to speak out about this. That's why most Nigerians would rather come with fake accounts and comment so that they cannot be traced, so that Omoto and the commissioner of police will not come after them and arrest them. But people, you can't entertain, you can't make this the normal in Nigeria, that you can't speak out, you can't voice out because you're afraid that the commissioner of police will come after you. The reason why Ruth Matthew is being harassed and being arrested and being taken to court, they're just trying to set an example. They're just trying to make you afraid. So if you become afraid, you're actually buying what they are selling. You're actually buying into their gimmick. We have to stand out, people. We have to make sacrifices. We have to be willing to die for the truth. I'm not saying it's something that is convenient, but justice always comes at a price. Please, let's come together. If you have a child out there, it doesn't matter the age. If that child can talk, if that child knows about this case of baby testimony, if they don't know, let them know. Tell them about it. This is a story that will be used as a case study. This is a story that will last forever, that will always be documented in history. And if we can also have your children advocating for their contemporary, for their brother or older brother or younger brother baby testimony, I think our message can go far. I think so many people can know about this case. What really moved me from this video is not only the birthday wishes. My little brother, they'll be like, "Happy birthday, Mr. PDT, aka Mr. Pull the Trigger." We're inspiring young generations, and these kids, they'll never attend prophetic shrines in their entire life. These kids will never be victims. We are paving the way for these little ones, for generations to come. These kids now know the truth. They'll never buy into all this madness that most of us, most of you have succumbed to. Our fight is not it's not really for us. I'm not really fighting for you people. I'm not really fighting for the elders. I'm not really fighting for the mothers of this generation, because most of them, they'll never change. They'll never accept this truth that we are exposing. These ones, they've been warned already by the charlatans. The ones I'm fighting for today are the ones that are upcoming. As they grow, as they keep consuming this stuff that we keep putting up here, they are being enlightened day in, day out. They say children are what you make them. So these programs and this reality of what is happening in the church that we keep exposing, it's enlightening them. And you might not think they are not listening. They are indeed watching. What really moved me from this video, from what my sister here and her family said, and I'll only extract from what the mother said and what the little girl said. The mother said, "Mr. PDT, on behalf of all the mothers in Nigeria, we are standing with you. On behalf of all the mothers in Nigeria, we are fighting for you." This message is coming from a mother who has children. Only a mother with children can relate to the pain that Ruth Matthew is going through, to the pain that Ruth Matthew went through. Just the thought of her losing one of her children can make her understand how important it is for us to get justice for baby testimony. Any other woman that you see in the streets of social media going against or trying to short circuit our ability to get justice for baby testimony, or trying to sabotage, or trying to sell a narrative that is against justice for baby testimony. Any other woman that you see out there trying by all means to obstruct baby testimony's justice, that woman is not a mother. They do not know the pain of having a child, of carrying 9 months pregnant, labor pains. They do not have that experience. Any sane woman, any sane mother can relate to this case of baby testimony. They see baby testimony as their own child. And more especially, this happened to someone like Ruth, a crippled woman, who had to give birth to all these kids through C-section. As disadvantaged as she is, she managed to bear 4 children. Some women who have no any deformities can't even bear 2 children. Now a woman in a condition can give birth to 4. And someone just decides to come and take 1 and get away with it and think they can get away with it. People, where is our conscience? Where is that moral compass of humanity? How did we get here? How did it happen? That people can just take someone's child and think they can just get away with it, and think the case can just be dustbin, and think the case can just be bygones, just like that. Is that what things are like in Nigeria? That even the commissioner of police can take the side of the one who's being accused and actually prosecute the mother who's claiming to have lost the child? Is that how broken the law system in Nigeria is like? The judiciary, is that how broken and dysfunctional it is? So this mother really moved my heart, that on behalf of all the mothers, all those other women that you hear talking garbage, those are ashawos, those are kunakunas. I don't regard those as mothers. I don't even see them as women. They are just devil incarnates. They don't have a heart. They don't have a soul. That's why when I come here and I start addressing these other baby charlatan, these other women who have been trying to water down this case of Ruth Matthew, I have no respect for such. I have no respect for such woman. I can say whatever. I can come up with all the ugly words to describe them and to call them out. Because once they demonstrate that they can't care for a child, yet they are women, it really takes away the cap of respect for me, the integrity from them and everything that they stand for. I wouldn't want to classify them together with all the other mothers or with all the other women, because these ones have no any attributes of being called women or mothers. Every sane mother feels for Ruth Matthew, feels for baby testimony. And to what my little sister had to say, that on behalf of all children in Nigeria, this is what motivated me to make this call to action, that if you have a child out there, his voice can go a long way. Her voice can go a long way. We need to stand together. We need to devise any possible approach that we can to raise as much awareness as possible. I think my number is somewhere on this screen. If I can get as many videos as possible, I'll be so glad, and it will do so much in finding justice for baby testimony. People will say, no, you're just talking, but what they do not know is it all comes down to strategy. The more awareness we raise about baby testimony, the higher the heat that we keep putting on whoever has baby testimony. The more noise we make about baby testimony, the more pressure those that are holding baby testimony will start feeling until they break. And eventually they will release baby testimony. If Omoto claims not to know anything about baby testimony, he will pull his socks up And he will do anything and everything within his power to make sure that we find this child, or else his name and his reputation will remain at stake. And we will keep calling him out, for we can't call any other person out other than Jeremiah Omoto for fame, because he's the overseer of Mercy City, where this sin, this unfortunate event took place. So just do so, please. And to those of you who have not yet wished me happy birthday, please send me my videos on this very same number. I still want my videos. I'll keep them forever. And if you want me to share them, and there are so many other videos that I received, which I'll do a compilation of those who said I should post them. And then I'll just post them at once. You know, they really meant quite a lot to me. And another one, before I get into the statement of, should I talk about it or should I not? Let me just talk about it. Remember, I made a request on my birthday of what I wanted. So it happened that one of my mothers from Nigeria, she sent me money. Not me money, yeah. All that money, it was all meant for Sister Ruth Matthew. So I sent an account. She asked me, please, Prof, send me an account. I want to send you something for the birthday. I want to send you something. Then I sent her the account, which I was giving to everyone that was contributing towards Sister Ruth Matthew. And I want to appreciate you people. The amount that was raised, it was just enough to cover what I wanted it to cover. You know, God works in mysterious ways. I want to thank you so much, people. Anyone that donated, should I say donated? It was not a donation. Anyone that gifted me on my birthday, everyone that sent me a birthday gift on my birthday, you people, you are awesome. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. You have no idea how much your contributions or how much those gifts contributed to some issues that needed to be solved. I just want to thank you and thank you and thank you. So amongst those people that sent me birthday gifts, there was this particular mother of mine. After she actually sent it today. And then she said, you know what? I have never, ever, this is the part that really got my attention. She said, I have never sent money to anyone online. You are the first person that I'm sending money online, which should show you how important you are. In other words, what she's saying is, in her experience of witnessing or of watching all these other people that claim to be exposing charlatans, she has never sent a dime to Solomon. That's what she's trying to, that's what she is saying. She has never sent a dime to Freeze. She has never sent a dime to Maureen. She has never sent a dime to Bisola. She has never sent a dime to the YouTube doctor, Chidi. She has never sent a dime to anyone. The first person online that she is sending money is Mr. PDT. That means a lot. You know, that means it's not about the amount that she sent, but just that statement. It could have been a naira, it could have been half a naira, but just that statement, it really meant a lot to me. That if I can have that influence, or if what I'm doing, if the work that we are doing here can touch people at heart to a point whereby they decide to part with the little that they have in support of Sister Ruth Matthew, it means we are doing quite a lot. It means we're doing quite a lot, and that motivates me, that pushes me to even keep doing more. But you people, you are the true heroes, and I really, really appreciate you. So now let's get into it. Without further ado, before we waste much time, I've already hit 18 minutes before we talk about Jeremiah Omoto's official statement. But be that as it may, we have all the time. The case at hand is far much more important than anything else that I can think of. Finding baby testimony is as important as breathing. It's as important as waking up. It's as important as waking up today and going to work. So Mr. Omoto Fofane, in part 2 of the statement that he issued to the Commissioner of Police, denying allegations of having anything to do with the abduction of baby testimony. He said, remember, this is a continuation. I'm continuing from the last part of his statement that I recited in the previous episode. And in the previous episode, we ended on the part where Jeremiah Omoto was saying, after the Berekete and the AIG, or the Commissioner of Police, did an investigation to find out who really is this child called Testimony, they couldn't find any proof of his existence. That was the conclusion of their investigation report, that this child called Baby Testimony does not exist. He is nowhere to be found. So based on that investigation, maybe that's why the Commissioner of Police now took it upon himself to start suing and prosecuting Ruth Matthew, because they couldn't find that Baby Testimony exists. But the question is it true, or was it true that Baby Testimony doesn't exist? How far true was it? Is there a reason why they are claiming that Baby Testimony does not exist? So before we analyze it, let's first listen to what Omoto Fofane said. It goes, at the end of the investigation, it was concluded that and proven that there is no person by the name Testimony. For instance, there was no evidence of registration of his birth at any local government area by the National Population Commission, and nothing to show the physical existence of such a child by the police authority. Besides, all allegations of connivance with any person named wrongly cited with false allegations was investigated by the police as allegations disproved. The English that Omoto writes sometimes, I don't understand it. And he goes on to say, we insisted that Ruth Matthew be prosecuted for giving false information against me. But considering her physical deformities, public spiritual persons pleaded with me to pardon her and drop the matter. As a God-fearing man of God, I forgave her and let her go. But to my surprise, this issue comes up again, and from relevant information, she is now collaborating with a South African person named Prof X to fraudulently collect and extort money using my name and ministry as a pointer. That's Jeremiah Omoto's English. So some of the issues here are not quite making sense, but in summary, I'm sure you understand me now. You get what he was trying to say. So what he's trying to say, let me just bullet all the points, extract the points from this short snippet of this final part of the statement that was given by Jeremiah Omoto Fofane. What he's saying is, after they consulted, after the police tried to verify with the National Population Commission of Nigeria, they couldn't find the birth certificate of this child called Testimony. They couldn't verify any information of this child called Testimony. That was the initial point that he raised. And the second point that he brought up, that he brought about, was that he wanted Ruth Matthew to be prosecuted. He actually pushed for Ruth Matthew to be prosecuted. But there are some spiritual persons, some spiritual advisors who came along and pleaded with him not to prosecute this woman. So him, as a God-fearing man, he forgave her and he let her go. That was in 2019. The third point that he raised, he is actually shocked that today this case is coming up again. But how can this case not come up if there's a missing child? Okay. He's actually shocked that this case is coming up again. And this time around, it's coming together in collaboration with a South African person called Prof X. And the reason why they are collaborating, Ruth Matthew and Prof X, is so that they can fraudulently extort money from the person of Jeremiah Omoto for fame. That was his closing remark. So going back to the first point that he made, that testimony does not exist. How true can that be? That baby testimony does not exist. If indeed baby testimony does not exist, so Mr. Omoto for fame, what did you mean when you said this?
If this baby comes out, what will you do? What will you do?
I will rededicate myself to God.
You rededicate.
I will rededicate myself.
What about you? If this baby, now the enemies, the Lord said, He said the baby, He has set confusion among the people that who caused this calamity. But I'm telling you,
A feast of thanksgiving.
hey, listen, take this my word. Even 1 second to this mood to run up. This baby that missing, you hear a good news.
Amen.
Even 1 second to this mood. What I have seen in the realm of the spirit, I'm seeing. How can you accuse the person like this? You that the person now who are following me, are you ready to dance and celebrate with me? Zoom people, if the baby come out or from anywhere, are you ready to celebrate with me?
If you claim that the investigation report says this child does not exist, what did you mean when you were asking about a missing child? When you were talking and prophesying about a missing child that will come out from nowhere, from anywhere? Which child were you referring to? That in 4 days that child will come out. Which child were you referring to? If you claim that this child did not exist or does not exist, it's a question that I'm asking Mr. Omoto for fame. 27th of March, you gave a prophecy in your church that in less than 4 days, this missing child will come out. Are you ready to celebrate? You're asking your people. You even asked one of your stooges that, what will you do if this missing child comes out from nowhere? What will you do? And that stooge said he will rededicate his life to God. So my question is, has he rededicated his life to God as yet? Or he's still waiting for this missing child to come out? So this is in contradiction to the statement that you issued. The statement you issued, you said, the investigation concluded that this child does not exist. And based upon the information of this investigation, you had to prosecute Ruth Matthew. So your entire lawsuit or your entire prosecution process is based on these premises or on this ground that baby testimony does not exist. Therefore, Ruth Matthew gave false information or falsely accused Mercy City and Omoto for fame because this child does not exist. So if this child does not really exist, what did you mean when you say if this missing child, which means the child exists, comes out from anywhere, what will you do? Part 3 of this video, we are going now to explore all these points. And now we are going to see where you are in conflict yourself. We are going now to prove beyond no reasonable doubt that this case that is in court and the statement that you gave, it's all dustbin. I do not want to speak much already concerning the final part of the statement, but I just wanted us to explore these very few points. That in their investigation that they did together with Berekete family, AIG, they found out that baby testimony does not exist. So, the prophecy, what does it mean if baby testimony does not exist? Because everything that is in the court today is centered on this statement that Jeremiah Omoto gave, because he was complaining in his statement that this woman is falsely accusing me. And you must know that This was not the first time Ruth Matthew was arrested. She was actually arrested back then, I think in 2020, after she came from Berekete family. She was actually arrested for falsely accusing Jeremiah Omoto for fame. That's why Omoto for fame said, I forgave her. Because she was bailed out by her father. That's why Omoto for fame, in this statement, he is saying, I forgave this woman because of her physical deformities. Because some spiritual persons pleaded with me to forgive her. And I'm a God-fearing man. I forgave her. That's why they did not take her to prison back then, when they first arrested her. So are you people putting 1 and 2 together? And for Omoto for fame to say that the woman is collaborating with me so that we extort money from him. Omoto for fame, why do you think everything is about money? There's a missing child here. And the only thing that is in your head is they want money. They want to take money from me. They want to blackmail me. They want to extort money from me. Omoto, all we want is the missing child. Is baby testimony. And you can't account to it. You can't explain. You can't provide the CCTV footage. So I want you to analyze this final part. And in this final part, it only brought out about 3 points. And the first point, it was concerning the birth certificate of baby testimony, which they couldn't find, or the information which indicated the existence of baby testimony, that it was nowhere in the National Population Commission. That was the first point, that they couldn't prove that baby testimony exists. So in other words, they were saying this child does not even exist. So this child was not even abducted. It never happened. What they were trying, the narrative that they were selling here back then was that this child was never abducted. And the second point that he raised is, I wanted to get this woman down. I wanted to take this woman down. But some spiritual people came and pleaded with me. And I forgave her. And the third point that he came up with is the reason why Prof X is in this case, or the reason why Ruth Matthew collaborated with Prof X, is so that they can extort money from Jeremiah Omoto for fame. So look into it and tell me what you think below. And let's wait for part 3, where we are going to now explore everything that we have discussed and put into consideration the entire statement of Omoto for fame. And now start questioning the main reason why Berekete dropped this case. And also start trying to understand from the Commissioner of Police to say, if you say you did an investigation and you realize that this child does not exist, which national population commissions did you approach to verify this information? Can you indeed verify this information that baby testimony does not exist? And you also look into the issue of the prophecy that Jeremiah Omoto gave. If indeed the child does not exist, so which missing child was he referring to? Maybe there's another missing child that we do not know of that has been missing, that Jeremiah Omoto was referring to. So with that being said, I'll check you out on the next episode of the Enlightenment series. This is Mr. Pull the Trigger. I'm out.